All right. I think everybody understands. I'm hoping everybody understands by now. Determining the cutting edge of the Gracey curette. Okay. So the whole premise of the Gracey is that when you work with the Gracey, your visual clue is this terminal shank. This is a functional shank. This is a terminal shank. The terminal shank has to be as parallel as we can be, okay, to the surface that we're on. So if I'm going to be right here in the straight facial and work my way into the interproximal, then oftentimes, let's say if I'm working on a periodontal patient, this working end may be swallowed up by this pocket, or it's going to go underneath the gum line. You're not going to see it. So the only visual clue that I'm going to have that I'm adapted correctly is to have this lower shank show me that it's parallel. Now, if I had the incorrect end, it would still be parallel. So again, that's why your starting point is the side of the blade that's tilted down. I call it the Picasso blade, as it tilts down like this. Okay, so starting at the midline, insertion on anteriors shouldn't be much of a problem. Just remember that, you know, you want to be able to go in between 0 and 40 degrees. Now, this is a rounded tooth. This is a rounded face. There still is, you know, we can't just get it totally at 0 degrees, but I can get it as close to that as I can, and I'm going to go in with the rounded back side, which goes up into the sulcus, okay? And sometimes, you know, really, I've told you all this before, it's harder to maneuver yourself around these typodonts than it is a real person sometimes, because you're not going to have that much resistance when you go into a sulcus. So you are fulcrum so that you can be secure, because you don't want to just go in there like this. You have to have a fulcrum, a place of resting your finger, and you drop your handle, okay? And of course my handle's not my wrist is not neutral because I'm dropping it to get in there. But once I get in there, then I am they're neutral, and there's my cutting, my correct cutting edge on the tooth, and I know that is my shank. It's parallel, and so I'm just going to stay above the margin so you can see the direction that I'm going. Side of the middle finger there, and okay, and then keeping it again, rotating, rolling, and pivoting so that I can get into that interproximal area. Okay, going again, stand up. Here I'm going this way. Okay, so just using the lower 1/3, and that's so important that we really understand that we cannot be, you know, you can't go in and then expect to work on the middle part of the blade, the middle third of that cutting edge, because then this is going to leave this other end here, you know, on the tissue. So it's all about adaptation, and just recognizing the fact that it's only those 2 lower millimeters are what actually come in contact with the tooth to do any removal. Okay, let my handle drop. Okay, see, my handle is parallel. I don't want my handle to come up like this, because that's going to totally mess up any angulation that I have for removing anything subgingivally. The handle is parallel, the tooth is parallel. This is kind of a real easy one, I think, because it's so visual about, you know, what you're seeing and what you need to do. I'm going to stay underneath the gum line on this one so you can just see how all you're looking at is that shank. And again, your position and your patient's position. I'm going to go in this way because I'm a little bit more on the extreme, and then stand up, and then we'll go this way, and this way. Okay? Now I'm still right here. I'm going to work my way back towards the facial. Stay right here at 11 o'clock, the same direction. Come the opposite direction. Now I'm going to enter from this way, stand it up, and then apply my strokes. Now I'm going this direction. So one of the things that we've kind of worked with a little bit with on working with instrumentation is which direction is your pivot going to be. And sometimes your pivot's going to be the direction that you're trying to adapt. Okay, if you're trying to adapt these lower 2 millimeters towards you, then your pivot sometimes goes away from you. Okay, and it just pretty much depends on the direction you're going, that you're leading with the lower 2 millimeters. Your working end, the tip or the point or the toe, always lead in the direction that you're going. This one, I'm going to come in this direction because I'm going a little bit on the extreme corner there.